Welcome back to the farm, everybody. We're going to take you on a tour, show you our successes and failures for the season. It is late July, almost August. And while we're out giving the tour, we're going to go over some expansion and construction projects we have coming up for this fall and winter. So follow me. Our farm is broken up into growing blocks. We currently have 8 growing blocks. In our expansion, we are adding 2 more plus a perennial growing area. I'll show you those in a bit. Each block is 4 rows, and each row is 45 feet long. So this is block 1. We've grown zinnias this year. Zinnias are a fairly easy flower to grow, but for us, we do have to wait later in the year. I don't get them planted until May because we're right next to the river. It gets cool enough in the morning still, even though we're in Zone 9B, Central California, where we get some mist off the river, and powdery mildew is super hard to get rid of once it gets into the zinnias, so we wait. Because of that, this does allow us for this next season to test tulips in some of these rows. Because we start the zinnias so late, we can plant the tulips and then plant them out, or have the zinnias planted out later. It gives us time to get the tulips out of the ground. One of our goals here is that we always have something growing in the beds. That's somewhat easy in the fall and spring crops because that works out well for us in our zone. It's the summer growing beds that are hard to get that to work. Getting something in there in the winter and then out in time for the crops for the summer to come in is somewhat difficult. But I have a plan for that. So follow me. Block 2, we're already starting to break down. We use this for branching sunflowers. And you can see in the back our amaranth, which our soil must be getting very good because I've never grown 10-foot tall amaranth before. But this bed for the fall, I'm going to try crimson clover. It only gets about 6 inches tall, it says. And I'm going to plant that in this area, and this will actually get turned into dahlias next year. I'm hoping that I'll be able to just rip out a section of the clover in the spring because the clover will not die off in the winter in our area. So I'm hoping to rip out a section and be able to plant the tuber in it and just leave the rest of the clover in. The least amount and minimum amount of work as possible. The best, I'm the only laborer on the farm. So that's my plan for this, is we're already starting to scale it back and tear it down so we can get the clover in here in the next month or so, get it to sprout, and then have it grow in these beds through the winter and put dahlias in there next year. This is currently block 3, our dahlia area. And we will go through and dig up these dahlias, add the clover like we're going to do in the other block, store the dahlias in the winter, separate them in the spring so we can increase our dahlia production and make it a total of 2 growing blocks and 8 rows is our hope. We'll probably bring in a couple of dahlias. Not every dahlia was great for cut flowers, and we will sell off those dahlia tubers next season or use them around the property for just ornamental look. Block 4 is mostly where we keep kind of our filler flower stuff. Status is one of our favorites. It does great. Yarrow is another one. I actually cut this back a month ago. It's already coming back. It was almost 6 feet tall. It was just getting out of control. But we do keep the yarrow here all year long. Gomphrena, which is back over here, and salvia. Now the salvia will not come back. It doesn't work very well. And it's a great plant if you just want it in your yard. But we will rip that out. And then we have, mine's going blank, some Dusty Miller. It's the first year we grow it. It's been an excellent plant. Love it, and we will do more of it next year. I don't think, because of the way I'm cutting it, that I can keep it as a perennial, but I'm going to try and see what happens. Block 5, half of our block is Lisianthus, which you can see we've already cut down once, and it's starting to come back its second flesh. There's even some little buds on it here. This Lisianthus we could overwinter, so we will cut it out and leave the rest of it. It'll come back, or most of it will come back next year. The other 2 rows, we used a straw flower as our kind of experimental flower this year. we love this flower. It's been doing great. We've just been starting to harvest off of it. So we will add more straw flowers to some of the area that we are expanding into. It's been a great flower. The celosia, although it's grown fine, we haven't found a lot of uses of it, so this probably won't make it back. In the fall, we will start another set of Lisianthus. We will actually do them in these 2 rows. My goal is that we have 4 rows of Lisianthus, and that we always have 2 rows that we're replacing and 2 rows that we're overwintering, is my hope. That's what we're going to work towards. And then block 6 was marigolds and some Aztec zinnias. I think these are really cool. We're going to use a lot of them in fall and kind of our pumpkin centerpieces for Halloween and Thanksgiving. The marigolds, this is one of my failures. Although the plant did do very well, since I've never grown them before, I did not get them supported correctly, and a lot of them have just flopped over. So if they come back next year, I'm going to have to use the netting like I do the Lisianthus to kind of keep them in place. I lost a lot of the plants due to inexperience. And the rest of this block we've used for sunflowers, and those will move to a new section next year, so we'll have this space available. Block 7 we used for sunflowers this year. It's not ideal. This big pistache tree over here shades it, and we've run into a new pest that I've never had to deal with before. We have rabbits now that are running around all over the area, and they love the shoots from the baby sunflowers. They don't bother the sunflower once it gets 6-8 inches tall, but before that they'll come mow it down. So I'm working on getting rid of them. We'll leave that for another video, but I may have to do something to protect the sunflowers. The past couple of new sets of seeds that I've done, I come out in the morning and they're just all mowed down to nothing. We even found rabbit pellets back on another part of the property, so they're just running through the property at night and coming and eating them. If you have any suggestions on how to get rid of rabbits, please put it in the comment section. I would love the information. This is block 8 that we just finished building, so we haven't used it yet. It'll go in production in the spring. This is a great area here. Since the leaves are all gone during the winter and early spring and fall, we'll be able to do snapdragons and ranunculus here, because the light will come through the tree during that time of year. And then in the spring, as the tree fills in, it'll shade some of the hot part of the sun and help us keep the ranunculus, give us a little bit longer of a season. I've done it in other areas before where the sun just beats on it all day, and it grows great, but once we get some warmer temperature, because it gets so much sun, it just doesn't last as long. So this section here with the shade hopefully will give us a little longer for the ranunculus to last. Then we're going to get into where we are expanding the farm. So the section I'm standing in now, we will be putting in growing beds number 9 and 10 all the way to our little trailer where we have some stuff for sale when people come to visit the farm when we're open on Thursdays and Fridays. And this is where sunflowers and sweet peas obviously in the winter and in spring will grow, sunflowers in the spring, summer, and fall, and we'll move the amaranth over there too as well in those areas because it's full sun all day. We'll be adding a driveway where I'm standing, and this section over here on the other side of the driveway will be our first perennial growing area for stuff like hydrangeas. The tree will provide shade during the afternoon. It's one of the few spots that we have on the property where we can grow hydrangeas, that it gets the shade. In Zone 9B, there's not a lot of hydrangeas that can grow that get hit in the sun in the afternoon. We do need to find shady spots. Marionberries we grow along the roadside. You can see them, and we harvest them in June, trellis them in October. We'll put together some information on how we do that, and they provide kind of a barrier between the road. If you haven't grown marionberries before, it is like razor wire. And follow me down here. I'm going to show you the secret hidden grow room that we have. Back in the 80s, someone, one of the owners I'm assuming, decided to grow pot on the property. Back in the 80s, it wasn't legal. So they buried their grow room in the hillside of the river. Fortunately for us, they built a pretty good sized room that was fairly sturdy. So we've converted this into our seed starting room. Watch your step. Our camera woman is wearing flip-flops coming down the stairs. Horseshoe choice. And this is our seed starting room. So everything that you see out in the field starts in here with the exception of sunflowers. Those we direct seed. But without this, none of that would work. All right, and the last part of the farm, this is kind of the center or the hub where everything is kept. Our water system is here. We did put together a video on how it works. I'll see if I can link that in if you're interested. We are going to change out the screens this year. We grew sweet peas on it in the spring, and it looked amazing. It kept the whole thing covered. You couldn't see the tank. The flowers on it looked beautiful. But sweet peas, of course, die off late spring, and then there's nothing there. So we're going to redo this with some hog wire panels and grow something that will be year-round and add some color and interest. Kind of a focal point to the farm. And this is our utility building, which used to be a horse corral that was left on the property, and so we stripped it and added our walk-in fridge in it, and it keeps all our tools. It's a free building. What more could you ask? That is kind of the grand tour. We've got lots of projects coming up, lots of new things that we're growing next year. We appreciate you watching. If you'd like to support the farm, hit the subscribe and like button, and feel free to ask any questions. Remember, live life in full bloom.